Okay, hello. So today's lesson is going to be a review. It's something that we've talked about three times now, um, but it's something that is hard to just learn the first time. It's something it's a grammar thing. So it's a lot of rules. It's a lot of um ifs and whens, if this is happening, you do this, when this happens, when you need to say this. So we're talking about the present perfect tense. Now, the perfect tenses, present perfect tense, present, uh, uh, what is it? Present progressive tense, and then there's past perfect tense as well. Has been, right? So, um, I have done. The past would be has been done, right? And it's like, why do I use this? We're going to review it. um so again, like, this is a complicated lesson. If this is something that confuses you, maybe you should watch it to help you learn more. But if it's something that you're starting to watch it and you're like, I don't understand, like, this is making English not make sense to me anymore, and you felt like it made sense, it's okay. Don't worry. So present, remember when we talked about simple present tense, right? We use it in English to talk about things that happen a lot, right? I go to the store, I take the bus to work. When we say that, it's present because it's something that we do, but we use the tense to talk about things that happen a lot and that we do often. um, and then progressive tense is to let you know, like, when you're talking to someone, to say, okay, this is either happening right now, or it was happening in the past and it's still happening now. It's a verb that's continuing, right? But we can use it to talk about, like, what's happening in the moment. I am I am walking my dog, things like that. Uh, and then past tense, obviously, is what we use to talk about things that happened before right now. And it can be something that happened a long, long time ago, or something that happened uh like just 1 minute ago, right? Past is just anything before right now. So present perfect tense, you'll see that we use present, and we kind of use this like perfect tense. Don't worry about why it's named that. I'm just showing you that so you know what it's called, what the technical name is. Um, but how can I talk about something in the past that is important to the present? Right? So this is why we use the present perfect tense. Um, you could say, I did live here, right? And that's past. I live here now, and that's present, right? But and then you say, I am living here. Well, that's like continuous. But you can combine the past and the present by using present perfect tense. I have lived here. Crazy, right? You're putting two tenses together. You're putting the past tense and the present tense together. How long have you lived here? I have lived in Utah for 13 years. So this sentence, present perfect, it uses present, have, right? Have, but it uses lived, right? And that's a past tense verb. So how does that work? How does that work? What do we do? So first, we're going to focus on how you make it. Well, and then we'll focus on how to use it, why we use it. So how to make. So you have the subject, right? The person, place, or thing we're talking about. You use have or has. Only have or has. You don't use had or did. Don't want to use those. You want to use have or has. And then the past participle verb. Now, what is past participle verb? We'll talk about it. So to make, you have your subject, then you say have. You say the special past verb, which is the past participle verb. Um, and that's how you make it, right? And subject could be I, you, we, they, he, she, it. Um, right? It, she, he, subject. That's how we make it. So what is a past participle verb? What does that mean? Hold on. We'll talk about it more. past participle verb is like a special past tense verb. Why is it special? What does it mean? So we have go, the verb go, and that's what we use. We call it the simple present tense of the verb, right? Go is simple present. It's talking about present tense, right? Went is past. Gone is our special past tense verb that we use with present perfect tense, right? It's the special past, and the reason it needs to be special is because we have to let people know it's the past, but it has to go with the have or the has that we're using, the present perfect tense. So I still don't understand. If you still don't understand, don't worry, we'll talk about it more. Right now, we're just focusing on how to make it. So you have your subject, have, has, special past verb. I have, and then I'm just going to put special past verb right here, just so we're not worried about like, which verb is it that I use? You just want to like make sure that you know that you need to use have or has. I have the special past verb. You have special past verb. We have, then you use the special past verb. So it's like a group of three things that need to go like all together right next to one another. So your subject, they have, and then the special past verb, bloop, it's made the team, you got it. You have to have those three. It has, she has, he has. So remember that we can use pronouns, right? I, you, we, they, it, she, he. And they're different because I, you, we, they're either multiple people, or yeah, it's like multiple people, or it's someone that includes yourself, right? And then when we use it, she or he, it's one person that isn't you, is kind of how I would explain it. So one person or thing, right? So my family and I have. The nurses have. The bus has special verb. My mom has special verb. My son has. So we use has with it, she or he, right? And then my family and I is like saying we, right? Because you're talking about a group of people plus yourself. So that's why you use have. The nurses, they have. So that's why we use have. Okay, so how to make it, we're still talking about it. They have special verb. I have special verb. The teacher has special verb. Her dog has. The cart, masks, and gloves have, and then the special past verb. Their mask has special past verb. So this is just to show you, you know, the teacher, right? We would say like it's a person, one person that isn't yourself. So you would say has. Her dog, it. So we use has. The cart, masks, and gloves, they. Even though they're not a person, you'd say, oh, those have, right? Those is what we use when it's like not people. Those have, their mask has, it has. So that's why we use it. So in English, verbs are words that are actions or states. Now, when I say state, I don't mean states like the United States. States can be used to describe the way somebody feels. So sadness is a state. Angry, happy are states. Think of like state of mind, right? Not states of a country. So if something's an action or a state, so if it is happy or sad. So verbs can talk about the present, they can talk about the past, and we can use them to talk about the future. So I have with the special past verb, even though you're using a past verb, because we use this structure of these three things, a subject, have, and the special past verb together, it's the present perfect tense, not past perfect tense. She has the special past verb, and that's present perfect tense. So the have or the has is the present part of it, and the past is the verb. It's our special past verb. And when you put those two together, um, the first verb right here is telling us what time we're talking about. We're talking about the present, right? Because we used have or has. And the past verb is letting us know that comes after it. It's like, okay, so all of these words together means that it has something to do with the past that's important to right now in the present. So what are special past verbs? That's what this says, even though my little face is in the way. So what are special past verbs? Are there special present and future verbs? No, so there's only special past verbs. There's actually, in English, there are, we don't really have a future tense. It's how we change the present tense to talk about the future. Will is kind of like our future, the way we talk about the future. So in English, we have two types of verb. We have regular, which means it's an easy verb, right? That's how I think of it. Regular verbs are easy verbs because you only have a present way and a past. And when you change it into the special past, it's still the same as just the simple past. And then you have irregular verbs, which are the hard ones because instead of just having two ways to say the verb, there are three ways to say the verb. So regular verbs, walk. When we change it into past tense, it just becomes walked. When we use it in a present perfect tense, to use that special verb, right? The special past verb, the past participle, it stays the same. It stays walked. We walked. We have walked. Work is just worked, right? We have worked since 6 o'clock this morning. Stay, stayed. It's a regular verb. They're easy to remember. Those are the only past tense you need to remember. But irregular verbs, go. The past of go is went. Give, the past of give is gave. Eat is ate. But they also so I'll talk about it more, but you'll notice that irregular verbs, the word totally changes. And that's kind of your first clue that, not always, but most of the time, it's your first clue that it's an irregular verb. If you have the simple and then the past tense word is completely different rather than just adding, I went ahead, rather than just adding an ed at the end, these ones are completely different words, right? Give is different from gave. Go is completely different from went. Eat is different from ate, right? It's like the words got jumbled. Why does that happen? So that's what an irregular verb is. That's your first clue that it's irregular. So when you use a special past verb, that means it will be in the past tense. So regular verb, I walk. If you're using progressive, present progressive, I am walking. And if you use the present perfect, you say I have walked. So you can just use the regular past tense verb for that one. But irregular verb, if you said, oh, I go to work, I am going to work, you would have to say I have gone. You wouldn't say I have went. It would be I have gone. So that's why we use the special past. So how do you know which verb is regular? How do you know an irregular? Regular and irregular can only really be memorized, which is sad. But what's a good way to know if it is irregular most of the time is if that verb changes to a completely different word when it's past tense. That usually lets you know it's irregular. But here are some words to memorize. So I thought I'd do these ones just because they're just here. So you can pause the video and look through these and make sure that you know. This one is really useful, be, because we use the to be form all the time in English. So be, past is was or were, and the special past is been. Been, like a bin of clothes, or like that's how you pronounce it. Or people say bean sometimes, depending on their accent. But yeah, so here's some of these. These are regular verbs. So I gave you special verbs, right? The irregular verbs with a past participle. And the past participle for regular verbs is easy because it stays the same. See, instead of having do, did, done, 3 different words, it's just 2 different words. Work is the present, worked is the simple past, and then the special participle one, the special verb, is just worked again. So these are all the regular ones, or some of the regular verbs. So we'll make some sentences. So you have the subject, have or has, depending on who the subject is, and the special past verb. So you would say, I have lived in Utah for 10 years. She has gone, special past verb, to the store, because you want to say go, right? She went to the store. She has gone to the store. We have eaten already. Instead of saying we ate already, it's we have eaten already. We'll do some more. My mother has given so much. So my mother, she has, that's why we use has, she has given instead of gave. It's not my mother has gave so much, it's my mother has given so much, because we need to use the special participle, the special past participle. The bus has left us behind. They have flown to Mexico to visit their family. We have known each other for 2 months. So all of these are the special past of the verbs. So the simple present of known is know. I have seen that movie. The simple present of seen is see. So that's the verb that we're changing. My friends have helped me improve my English. Helped is just help, right? This one's a regular verb, so we just had to add the ed, even though it's a special verb, right? The past participle. Okay, so this next part, why do we use present perfect tense, or perfect present tense, as I wrote on this slide? So you use it to talk about something in the past that kept happening until now, or is still happening. So what does this mean? What are we talking about? So I'll make myself a little bit bigger. Or I'll see. Hold on. It can be from a long time ago or recent. So I'll kind of talk to you about this for a second. So when I talk about this, what do I mean? So when we say that something happened in the past, I'm going to use like actions to show you. So pretend that this is a present. This is right now in the moment. And the past is, over here. Everything over here. So the thing that's important about present perfect tense is that when we use it, because we're using both the present, have or has, and a past tense verb, we're combining the 2 times to let people know, hey, something was happening before in the past that's important to right now, right? That it's either happening until right now, so it's stopped right now, or it's something that can still happen. So let me talk to you about, let me show you how this works in English. So I have woken up at 6 a.m. since I was 6 years old. So when you say I have woken up at 6 a.m. since I was 6 years old, what you're telling somebody and what they're going to understand is, because you said I have woken up, is that you woke up at 6 a.m. since you were 6 years old. So since you were 6 years old, all of the years in the past, you were waking up at 6 a.m. all the time. And you're not just saying I used to, I did wake up at 6. You say I have woken up. That means that it's something that is like can still be happening now. It lets people know, okay, that's something that she is still doing. I have woken up at 6 a.m. every day this week. So you'll see that like you can use this for things that happened a long time ago, or you can use it for things that are very recent. but are still in the past. I have woken up at 6 a.m. every day this week. So you're saying in the past, just this week, I woke up at 6 a.m. And it's something that either was happening until right now, or it's something that's still happening. So that's the part that's kind of um, why it's good to use, is because it lets people know, hey, this is something that may stop right now. It may not. It can still keep going. So it's like combining all three tenses almost at the same time. So you're talking about the past, but you're talking about it in the future, or not in the future, in the present, but it's also something that can still happen in the future. Okay, so the next part, because it is talking about something that kept happening, we never use words that talk about a specific time. So do not use words or phrases like last week, 2 hours ago, or yesterday, like really specific things. So I have woken up early yesterday. That doesn't really work. Here, we'll show you. So you just don't want to use that because it kind of, when you say I have woken up early yesterday, let me think about how I talk about this. So, I have woken up early yesterday. Yes, yesterday's in the past, but it's when you use a word like yesterday or 2 hours ago. I have done this 2 hours ago. It's talking about a specific time in the past. And you're saying that you did the action at that time. But when you use present perfect tense, I have woken up early, you're letting the person know, okay, they did this in the past and it kept happening, and it's happening until right now, or it can keep going. So that's why we want to avoid using things like yesterday or last week, like words or phrases that tell you specifically what time something was. Now you may be thinking, like, why did you use 6 then? 6 is because 6 isn't what it is that you're doing. It's you've woken up at 6 a.m. So it's telling you, okay, this whole event is happening. So it's a bit confusing. I'll keep going. I'm not explaining it very well. So we use it because what happened in the past kept happening and is important to right now, the present. So for example, you needed, so this is something that can happen. You need help and you call a place and they say, oh, you needed to call us last week to make an appointment. Um, and you could say, that's funny. I have called many times. Nobody answered, right? This has all happened to us where we're trying to get something figured out, whether it's a company or something, a test we need to take or something, and they try and give you the runaround, right? They say, oh, you needed to call us last week to make an appointment. And you can say, I did. I have called many times. Nobody answered. So this one is good to use because you're combining the past with the present. I have called many times, meaning you were calling in the past and you're calling now and nobody answered. Now, let's see what time we're at. The lesson, I can keep going. I can teach you how to make present perfect tense negative, but it would make the lesson too long. So I just wanted to review how to make it, and we can talk about, how to make it negative later. But so that's your lesson for today. Oh, and I hope that all of you made it to work safe. It's very snowy outside, so stay safe.